Hey, what's up, great people, and welcome to another episode of our TechTrends Podcast. If you've been following our conversations the last couple of weeks, we've done quite a number of interviews. We did an interview, at the Africa Tech Summit. I'm not sure if you're there, Ryan. So there are very interesting interviews we did, with tech leaders from across Africa, talking about what they're doing and, basically their contribution to the tech ecosystem in Africa. And that's why I'm interested to actually host you in this episode. And of course, this discussion, as I was telling offline, is going to be focusing about basically on AI and from Samsung perspective, since you of course came from Samsung. And we're basically trying to see how we can break down common misconceptions around AI, specifically within the Samsung ecosystem, because of course Samsung has been really big on AI. Galaxy AI came, then of course we saw the competition now jump as well with their AI innovations as well. So we're going to just try to break that down in this short episode, but maybe just a good starting point will be you introducing yourself and tell us what you do at Samsung.
Great. Thanks for having me. It's actually, I'll be honest, it's my first podcast.
First podcast? You've never been on set?
I watch so many podcasts and today I'm on one. So I'm happy to be your guest today. Yeah, so I wasn't at that summit, but I was at another summit, the 5th Nation Digital Summit. So many summits are happening around technology and it's great to see that happening in Africa. But anyway, so for me, I am Ryan Mule. I am from Samsung Electronics. I work in the mobile experience department. Yeah. Note we're saying mobile experience, not mobile phone. It's all about experiences now. And I specifically look at the B2B angle of the business, but also supporting the product management side of the business. So that B2B angle is basically how do our products fit for enterprises, government, and all that sort of those different types of verticals. Yeah. And the larger part of it now is obviously just the product management, getting the product to market, being here, evangelizing the product as well. Yeah. So again, thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you so much. Ryan, do you think AI has finally become mainstream?
It's interesting. Now, if I was to, I hate to become the interviewer here, but if I was to ask you, what was your first AI experience, your first proper AI experience? Because AI has actually been with us for a very long time, since the 80s. Yeah. It's been developing from machine learning and now AI really took a big turn. For me personally, it was in 2022. I'll give you a real world example. I think 2022 was when GPT was really blowing up, wasn't it? Yeah. So it was around November is when I was playing around with it. And it was because where I was working, I was told, come up with a PR strategy. We don't have a PR budget. We need stories. So someone told, my boss at that time told me, have you tried ChatGPT or something of the sort? I said, nah, never. I got onto it and I spent hours, a whole week. And I created the PR strategies. I even created copy. Interestingly enough, by the next week, I couldn't access it. The servers were full. So AI has become mainstream in such a short amount of time. It's incredible. The way it's working now, like in the world of computing, we say it's like 18 months or so, computational power doubles, like Moore's law. But now when you look at AI came into the fold and said, hold my drink.
Exactly, yeah.
It's developing every 6 months. Yeah. Soon enough, every 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, weeks, days.
Yeah, in fact, I think I spoke to someone a couple of months back just talking about AI on this same set, and he was telling me, we used to use AI, but we actually didn't know it was AI.
Exactly. Yeah.
Things like voice commands, all those things.
Your Gmail, when you text and it's autocorrect, that is actually still part of AI. So the mainstream bit of it is being aided by brands like us, to be honest, because we are now bringing AI to the mobile device straight to your pocket. And that's what the Galaxy S25 does. The Galaxy S24 also did that, but the S25 takes it a step higher.
Interesting.
So with the S24, we introduced Galaxy AI, and with the S25, and S24 is more of generative AI. The S25 is more of agentic AI. Yeah. So and we can probably, if you want, we can try and demystify that straight out at the bat. So a lot of people ask, so what is this agentic AI? Yeah. So I don't know how you understand it, but I'm sure you have a very technical understanding of it. So if we were to try and simplify it, if I was to ask you today, if you wanted to go on a trip to Mombasa, maybe use a travel agent, right?
Yes.
If you wanted to find a house, maybe use a housing agent, right? And this agent, this human agent, actually goes and does A, B, C, D to find information, to analyze the information,
Yeah.
what hotels, what bookings, what availabilities, same as a housing agent. They collect so many things, points of information, do so many things in steps before they actually call you back and say, okay, here are your options. Then you pick the options. Then they act on that.
Yes.
Now think of agentic AI in that sense. So agentic AI, if you take it from a technological perspective, it's more of software that uses artificial intelligence to achieve a goal that requires multiple steps. Yeah. So for instance, on the S25, I can ask it, find the next Premier League game and add it to my calendar. So the AI system, which is Galaxy AI, powered by Gemini, working hand in hand, will actually identify the primary goal, which is to find the Premier League game that's next. So it goes online, does what it needs to do, finds the matches, finds the timing, then automatically adds it to my calendar. Now that is a secondary goal. Now, as an agent, you see it's done multiple steps.
Exactly,
Yeah, so that's how agentic AI works. So the future of it, you could imagine, is actually going onto a device or any other platform and actually having this AI systems do a lot of these things on your behalf, acting on your behalf. Imagine if all you could do was ask it to book a trip to somewhere, and it does all the steps, and maybe you just intervene by giving a payment authorization. That is the future of where things are going. So AI is getting faster, it's getting more mainstream, and it's getting better. And the ability to access it is becoming broader. The cost of accessing it is trending downwards towards zero. Because right now, if you wanted to explore AI, there's so many tools you can jump onto.
And some actually even free.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to pay for them.
Yeah. So that's where AI is going. And the speed of development is so fast that I usually tell people, people say, oh, will AI take our jobs? Or will AI do this? Will AI do that? Truth of the matter is it's going to change a lot. It already is changing a lot. So in this particular context, you as an individual, it's going to get to a point where you have to become a generalist. You cannot be a specialist of anything because AI is going to do away with specialization.
Exactly,
So what's the best thing you can do? So I usually like to coin this term of becoming an AI explorer. You know, when AI came, there's a lot of fear. I don't know, it's too technical. I have to know coding. It's not impacting my life. But sure enough, it will. You have access to all these different points of information. You have access to devices now like the S25, which you can explore and experience AI. So why not do it? Because that's the only competitive advantage you will have in the future. Those who are using AI platforms effectively, even at the simplest level, have a competitive advantage over everyone else. So I try and use it every day. I made a joke recently that I use AI to actually win arguments with my wife on text. But that's where it is. So mainstream, yes, but developing at such a quick pace. So even us as device manufacturers, we're staying ahead of the curve. So S25 is one of the few phones that has agentic AI capabilities. Of course, having partnered with Google, that allows us to bring it to the fold.
You know, the thing is, people used to think like AI, when ChatGPT came about, it's just putting in a prompt and getting responses. But as you said, there's more to just putting prompts and actually, just getting responses.
Exactly. And the other thing that's happening with AI, so we have agentic AI on the S25, but it's also multimodal. So AI is now capable of looking at not only text, but it's looking at images, it's looking at video, it's looking at audio. So for example, on the S25, there's an intelligent search feature where I can actually simply ask it to look for a photo of me at the at the summit I attended last week. So AI actually peruses through my gallery. It takes the command and breaks it down into different contexts. So it's a summit. Okay, what images here? It could be me standing at a stage. It could be any images on this phone with a crowd in a room. It looks at the date I said last week, works that back, then serves me with a breakdown of all the images of my phone that could possibly be what I'm looking for. Just pick it. Now, how many images do you have on your gallery today? We take photos, we take videos, we don't even look at them. You could have thousands of photos and you're trying to figure out, okay, I took a photo last time, but I don't want to scroll through my phone. So intelligent search there, powered by Gemini, again, multimodal, does that. If you now want to do content creation, like right now here we're seated, you've got the S25 Ultra actually recording us, that ultra wide angle camera. So I was in Mombasa last week and, take videos on the beach. What's a typical problem? Wind noise. Lots and lots of wind noise. So with the audio eraser, it's able to actually look at the video I've taken, then identify all the different points of background noise. It could be wind noise, it could be crowd noise, it could be vehicle noise, and then it gives me the options to automatically erase that noise. Now that's brilliant if you're just creating content for yourself, or even if you're a professional to even entry-level content creator. You don't have to go into a third-party application or do a lot of things in post to edit out these things.
Trust me, I tried that when we were at the Africa Tech Summit, and you know how noisy the summit, there are people talking and all that.
Exactly.
And we were doing actually just, interviews on the side with people, and I was surprised how the quality came out.
Exactly. Now you get by standard, you get really good quality because of the cameras and what they're capable of doing. But now you bring AI into the fold, it means if you're a content creator, if you are an influencer, if even you're a journalist, whatever it is, you can actually go live with your material faster. You don't have to worry about, okay, I'll have to throw it into this app and do this. And also editing. Like I shoot a lot of my personal videos for my own hobbies. And one of the cool features here is that auto trimmer. So we shoot a lot of video, and then there's a lot of bits of it we discard when we go and edit outside, right? Parts you don't need. So what if you could actually just have AI do that for you? So it looks at parts of the video that it understands are the highlight parts. And then it actually cuts those out. It cuts out the unnecessary bits and only leaves you with the highlights. So again, I don't have to spend too much time going into a video frame, but you know the process.
It's a lot of work.
You could probably open CapCut if you've used CapCut, and you go through the whole process of framing. So with the auto trimmer, you can do that, and that's all the power of Galaxy AI and Gemini running on this phone. So those are capabilities now brought to the mainstream, as you're saying.
And of course, many people associate actually, as we were talking offline, AI with virtual assistants, like for example Bixby and all that. But we've seen Samsung using AI in areas like cameras. We've seen Samsung using AI, on adaptive displays. How do these features actually work, and what benefits do they bring to actually consumers?
So that's a good question, and you've actually touched on something that comes up once in a while. So there's a significant difference, especially with the voice assistants. You have Bixby, for instance, which is still on the Galaxy S devices. And then, of course, you have Gemini now on Galaxy AI. Bixby does use some form of artificial intelligence. But remember, the main difference here is it is not capable of operating across multiple applications or across multiple contexts. Like, for example, when I gave you the command of finding a Premier League game, add it to my calendar, it cannot do that. It only operates within a set window of jurisdiction in terms of what you can do. But now when you go into Galaxy AI and Gemini and the agentic capabilities, it's able to actually function and execute a command between different stages, different steps. So that's a major difference. So a lot of people ask, how about Bixby? Bixby is just a simple, straightforward voice assistant, gets one task done. Now Galaxy AI allows you to now work contextually. And then it's also multimodal with the power of Gemini. Now, when you look at how do these things, systems make life easier, things a bit more productive and effective, we've already talked about the camera and the AI features, and even, by the way, like you mentioned, filters. You can take a photo and ask the system to actually apply a filter that will be similar to what you have in a sunset. So you get those colors applied to a photo, and amongst many others. But there's some other really interesting features that I find make things pretty productive for people. So on the S25 series now you have call transcript. So with AI, you're able to do a lot of transcription, but now we have call transcript. So call transcript will actually record your phone call in real time. It will transcript everything that is being said between the speakers of the phone call. Now, you might say, okay, yes, that's standard, it can be done. But now when you bring in the power of Galaxy AI, it's able to summarize the transcript. And give you something a bit more concise and detailed. And if you wanted, even after the fact, you can translate it into a different language. So look at a real world scenario. I'll take a business scenario and I'll take a fun scenario. So you're organizing a boys trip with your guys, with your boys, and you're making plans. We'll go here, we'll do this, we'll do that. I think with us gentlemen, things get lost in translation. We'll finish. No one was writing any notes. We're just like, we go.
We'll remember.
We'll remember on the way. But you switch on the transcript, then you can actually share those notes with everyone else, maybe via WhatsApp or whichever way, and you have record of that. If you're doing business calls, it's pretty good as well. So I can have a very official phone call. Of course, we also look into the privacy aspect of things. So we usually recommend that people inform
the other party
that you're actually recording. So you can actually record the phone call. And then that makes it easy. Instead of having to write down the notes, you have all points that were discussed between both parties or multiple parties in that phone call already straight on your phone.
Yeah.
And it's a simple matter of sending. This is what we discussed. So this whole story of meeting notes, waiting for meeting notes disappears.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it on the call transcription, I walk into a meeting room. We're having a discussion like we are now. I switch on the voice recorder. And then after we finish the discussion, it transcribes everything.
Yeah.
Now imagine if I'm going for business meetings and I'm not writing anything. Although I could if I wanted to use the S Pen. Again, another story.
I know,
But I could actually have all those discussion points ready.
Yeah.
I go back to the office. I want to brief the team on what was discussed in this meeting. I want to give them action points. I can actually just sit down, maybe clean it up a bit, send it to them.
Yeah.
Better yet, if I'm coming into the office and I go into a boardroom, S25, call the team, let's discuss a meeting, connect the phone to the screen. So any screen that has Miracast capabilities, connect the S25 to it, preferably Samsung.
Yeah.
Connect the S25 to it, we can actually go through the notes in real time on the screen. So we review everything. So there's no waiting for me to send you notes or action points in 3 business working days. We can do all these things very seamlessly. You travel.
Yeah.
You want to translate, you want to speak. You go somewhere, basically live translation is there, which you can do on call.
Yeah.
Or more easily through the interpreter app where I simply point the device at you, you speak in your language, translates back, so on and so forth. So all those things are actually powered by Galaxy AI. And Galaxy AI is, because all these AI systems, multiple AI systems working on the device, but Galaxy AI is our own suite.
Yeah.
Samsung's very own suite of artificial intelligence capabilities, which then gets bolstered up by one of the stronger players in the market when it comes to AI, Gemini, and those two work together hand in hand.
Yeah.
On device plus on cloud. And those are the experiences you're able to get. That's why we talk about mobile experience.
Yeah. And this way now, there's always that confusion between AI automation and actual intelligence. How do you ensure that AI is used to assist rather than, replace human decision making?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's a very, because AI can be treated in those two forms. It either simplifies things for you, gets things done for you, and the other bit is the intelligence bit, which is the thinking and reasoning aspect. So like now when you look at things like the intelligent search, you look at the auto trimmer, the audio eraser, that's now the intelligence bit, because you're not asking it, remove the wind noise. You're not asking it, identify this. It does all that in the background.
Yeah.
So all you're giving it is a simple command and it's able to process that. And that's where AI is headed. So before, AI systems were very predefined. So you had AI systems that were designed to beat the world's best player at chess, or an AI system that was once designed to beat the world's best player. The hardest game in the world is called Go. Yeah, if you've heard of it.
I've heard of
so
it.
Those are very fixed AI systems, and now we've moved to the realm of thinking and reasoning AI systems.
Yeah,
that's where agentic AI is coming in. Now, the thinking and reasoning level, where things are starting to accelerate at an incredible pace. We're at the point where AI is, to an extent, mimicking our thinking and reasoning, and our creativity, our ideation. But the next stage, which is AGI, artificial general intelligence, is where they will rely less and less on our inputs to develop that train of thought and thinking and reasoning. Some people say that's 5 years away. Some people say it's already here secretly. And then eventually we get to artificial super intelligence, where we as humans are not able to keep up with the pace of development of AI, and it simply becomes better and faster than us.
Because what is happening right now is now all these data sets, all these large language models, all these data, they are fed on this AI by actually humans.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the interesting thing. When you think about it, these systems are so intelligent, but at the end of the day, they're actually created by humans.
Exactly.
What happens is because humans can only consume so much data sets and information compared to a machine system, that's where now the intelligence gets to propagate at a much faster rate. I don't know how many points we use. I don't know how many percentage of our brain is usually saved. We don't use 100%. But then we have created so much data just by our daily lives, just by the virtue of the internet. And now we've introduced an artificial intelligence models that are able to just simply pass through that massive sea of information. So I don't like to be gloom and doom about it. The usual scenario is, take over the world and all that. But we simply do not know as much of it yet. We know that it's developing very fast. And as device manufacturers, we know we have to keep up with the pace. And even at the last summit where we attended, a big discussion was always around, policy and regulation.
Yeah, I know.
And it always comes up. It's a very tricky section.
Especially where government's actually involved.
Government gets involved. Yeah. Because if these systems are developing so fast, and we are, as device manufacturers, also putting out these products, making people's lives better, easier, then they get concerns about, data privacy, security, and whatnot. But the truth of the matter is, as I said, the systems are developing, I say, every 6 months. Maybe it's even narrower now. Yeah. So if you're going to have policies and regulations in place, they have to be developed within the pace. So it takes how long? It takes a year, 2 years. By the time you're done and tabling something, the technology has already moved forward. So that's a massive curve of intelligence and capability we have to deal with and struggle with.
Right. Let's switch a little bit to now the reality versus the myths of AI capabilities. And of course, one common fear we've seen, of course, this conversation happening, and people, especially in our space, in the tech media space, is that AI is becoming too powerful, or even self-aware, as some people are actually saying. What's your take on these concerns, and how is Samsung AI systems actually operate within this predefined limit?
Yeah. So those are natural concerns, I would say. They're concerns that will continue to double up. In the tech space, and I know right now, the challenge with AI is, especially in the tech space, AI can even do code for you. It doesn't do it perfectly, but it's getting better, it's getting faster. So there still has to be humans in the loop. This is a positive thing about it. So as AI develops, there's this whole term of humans in the loop. Like even till today, there are people seated here in Kenya in rooms like this, actually training AI systems.
Exactly.
And there are a lot of different issues around that. But they're still humans in the loop. That's the only positive thing I would say when it comes to the doom and gloom aspect of this. So as long as we have humans in the loop, it's a matter of how well are you going to integrate with the technology that's coming to improve your work. So if it's replacing something that you're doing 100%, then there's pretty much not much you can do about it. If it's showing potential to replace what you're doing, then the only thing you can do proactively is upskill, reskill, and take advantage of those platforms to do something different. So we are all going to be called upon to be a lot more creative and a lot more proactive in how we actually look at AI and look at how it's affecting your current life and your current business, your current job, and see how you can use it to take it a step further and stay ahead. Now, in terms of all of this, for us, it's having AI on the devices isn't a matter of replacing any part of a job or a task or whatever, but it's a matter of improving your quality of life, and it's a matter of giving you access to these new forms of artificial intelligence that you otherwise would have not have accessed. There are a lot of people who would not have experienced agentic AI actually if they didn't have access to a smartphone like the S25, and maybe later on other devices down the range, because the way it's working now is, in the next few years, I saw a report that was saying by 2028, 54% of the smartphones in the world will have AI capabilities. So it might seem that maybe S25 is really up there if you wanted to experience all these cool AI features, but they're going to trickle down. And that's now where we play and say, okay, if AI is increasing at the pace it's increasing, how can we stay relevant and up to date with the AI improvements, bring them onto our devices, then make those devices progressively more accessible to people. The same people who might be conscious or anxious about AI changing things for them. So in the tech space, so for example, right now, you can even generate a full video with AI, full image. But if I have a device that's able to allow me to generate my own content, augment it with AI, then put it out into the public space faster, AI has still benefited me.
Yeah.
Instead of me sitting around and saying, oh, AI is going to replace all my social media capabilities.
I actually love you say that because my kid was telling me the other day, when I see AI do this for me, it's like it's taking control away from me,
No, you need to think about how you cannot control the speed.
Yeah.
You cannot control the developments, but you can control how you integrate with it into your daily life by exposing yourself to it as much as possible. So I know you might not be able to afford an S25, but at the same time, if, for example, you're in the tech space, how are you using AI to actually refine your content? Whether it's editorial content, whether it's a video content, how are you using it to redefine your content? How are you using it to get your content out there faster? Right now, it's about the pace of speed that you can get everything done. That is a competitive advantage you should be looking at. If you sit back and say, it's going to take my job, it's going to do this, it's going to do, it surely will. But do you want to be the AI explorer I talked about? Or do you want to be, it's a bit harsher, the AI commoner who says, AI is here, it's going to take everything away from me, there's nothing I can do about it. Very wrong. There's a lot that you can do about it. You need to move along with the curves as much as possible. I even was telling people recently, I don't understand AI 100%. Especially, with the field of AI, there's the coders and the techie guys, and then there's a few of us who are the softer guys.
And the consumers,
and the consumers. It doesn't mean that I should not explore. So before I was even in this position where I am, evangelizing this, I was already using AI, like I told you. I was exploring it. I have used AI platforms to make music. There's a platform called Udio. I have some songs published somewhere in the cloud. Experimentation, learning. There's a lot of free materials there to learn and explore AI. So you can do a lot to stay ahead of the curve.
And we've seen, of course, AI-driven cameras and voice recognition tools, in Samsung devices actually becoming more advanced from when Galaxy AI first actually, debuted. We saw Samsung improve, on it. Are there any myths around Galaxy AI or AI in Samsung devices that you think we need to debunk? That you've had?
I think the myths in general are on a broader base. For us, one of our major objectives, and when we launched the S24 and we brought in Galaxy AI, AI was still not a very massive talking point on the mobile phone space. It was still actually gaining traction. And even here in the local market, a lot of people gravitate towards the camera, storage, and we've got all that. Almost powerful processor, powerful cameras. But I don't think we've had enough time for really myths to be developed specific to Galaxy AI. Right now, people are exploring and learning it, and we're trying to teach them as much as possible about it. I'm pretty sure I've met S24 users who had Galaxy AI and never used it.
Exactly,
But that has to change. And if we are going to be successful in this local market, that's one of the key points. And that's why we are here today evangelizing, telling you what it can do. If you walk into any of our experience stores, we have about 21 of them countrywide. You will be taken through the device and they will show you all these AI features. So the myths that have been around it, I think one of the ones that I've heard and I've tried to clarify here is that it's just like Bixby.
I know,
The other myth is, it's just the same as the S24. It also had Galaxy AI. S24 did not have agentic AI. S24 did not have the capability of going through your gallery and identifying, a specific photo, multimodal capabilities were not really fully there. So, and that's a challenge with AI. Taking the concepts from a technology standpoint and simplifying them to a consumer level standpoint, real world examples, it's something that we're tremendously working on and will continue to work on. So the myths have mostly been like, it's the same as the previous model. Technically, it's not. We have actually moved to the next level of AI, which is agentic AI, as opposed to the generative AI we were looking at with the previous model. So there's a lot more that you can do with this.
You actually be surprised. There are some things, for example, Galaxy 24 users or even 25 users or even the foldable users that are using, like they use some features on the phone, but they're not even sure this feature is actually AI powered.
Exactly.
You'll be surprised that actually happens a lot. Let's talk about now Samsung vision for AI, of course, and this is where things like now responsible innovation comes in. Of course, AI ethics has been a very big thing. AI privacy, it's a hot topic, and of course, one of the topics we've covered in our publications around that as well. How does Samsung balance innovation with responsibility? ensuring it actually remains safe and beneficial to users?
The two, in terms of corporate responsibility, there's two angles I'd like to discuss, actually. First is with the AI. The second, actually, is also with the production of this very same product, physical production of this product. So with Galaxy AI, privacy, of course, now with any AI platform, there's a lot of information that's going onto the cloud. And that's a big contentious point. So even in organizations, you'll find that organizations some of them don't allow the use of the AI platforms that are commonly used. They're creating their own, which allows them to also work within their own parameters. Because we don't want people putting in information, proprietary information, and all that. So those complexities are there. So when we bring it now onto the S25, and I would say actually even our tablets, like the Tab S10 also has Galaxy AI. So remember I said that Galaxy AI is our own suite of artificial intelligence capabilities. That means it's running on the device. Now to address this privacy thing and give people a safe environment, that on-device AI capability means that you can actually toggle in the settings. You can actually choose to have the AI functionalities only running on device. So it will limit you to certain things, but a majority of them will still be accessible. And you can choose not to have any of the information being processed on the cloud. So you can actually switch to on device only. Now the beauty of that is not only on individual level. Now I talked about, I also look into B2B, business to business. So you find that there are companies that will purchase this device, maybe 100, 200, maybe 500 plus units for different levels of executives. So this is your company device. You are MDX, CEOX, whatever. We have software solutions known as Nox. It's a suite of solutions that actually allows you to manage devices deployed in the enterprise. Now, when it comes to AI, these devices get added onto that platform by the IT manager, and the IT manager can do a variety of what we call policy controls. And they can actually segment a corner of this device, a container of this device where all work applications are loaded there, whether it's emails, proprietary applications for the company, but they can also manually force set AI functions only to run on device while it's in the work profile. Now, what that means is, while this person is using the phone in the work profile, where that's only space they're able to access their company email, company apps. If they try to use the AI functionality, they can only use it on device. So nothing goes outside. So you can do that level of policy control. So we've covered it on both the individual level and also the enterprise level. So that actually allows us to address, in this particular moment, we address the privacy and security concern. And I'm sure that's going to continue developing and improving. Then the second thing is, outside from the AI, my boss is calling me. Doesn't know I'm here. Well, apart from the AI component, also this corporate responsibility on security of AI also extends towards the hardware itself. So you might not even realize it, but the Galaxy S25 is actually made out of recycled metallic materials. For something that looks that sleek, that looks that posh, it's actually made out of around 8 recycled metal materials, a step up from the 6 of Galaxy S24. On top of that, because we want these products to be used for a longer period of time, you actually get up to 7 years of operating systems generation upgrades, so 7 OS upgrades, and up to 7 years of security maintenance. So that should give you an idea of how long you can actually push these products. And that those things combined, I think, allow us to be more socially responsible. On the AI side, it's all about what information can we contain and secure within the device, because apart from being able to set it to only operate on device, Samsung Nox is not only those solutions that we manage the device, but it's a security architecture running here. So it's running in the background. You don't know, and you don't have to interact with it in any way, but it's constantly monitoring for threats on the hardware level and also on the application and software level. So all these systems that we're talking about, the AI systems, all the software, it's all backed up by Samsung Nox and secured by Samsung Nox. Everything is locked away in a secure vault. If an attack is detected, it's isolated and it's dealt with there and then. And you're just running along with your with your phone. So we are working on building our security capabilities every single year.
Oh, interesting. And of course, you mentioned earlier, we are yet to see more of AI, because every day you wake up, there's something new. Every day there's something new. How do you see AI evolving, especially within the Samsung ecosystem? And, are there any, upcoming AI innovation that you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, definitely. So our major goal, because from a company perspective, innovation is a big part of what we do. So we have now moved into the AI age of innovation, and our innovation has been mostly hardware related, and a lot of software solutions related as well, which has been really good.
Yeah.
So I think you remember many years back, we brought you the Note series, S Pen, and then we were one of the first brands with those infinity displays, and then we went into folding. So the hardware innovation is going to continue for sure, definitely, yeah. And as we continue that hardware innovation, we are pairing up AI, and with AI, we've moved into agentic AI. So the next logical step is, how do we now trickle down the AI capabilities across the range of devices we have? So we've already introduced AI capabilities, at least on our flagship tablets. So the Tab S10 series does have Galaxy AI capabilities, not agentic AI, but it does have AI capabilities that you've seen maybe in the previous year. The next tablet will probably have the next step. But then, because we also deal with the mid segment of devices, the high to mid segment of devices, the next step is to bring that closer into models like the A series.
Yeah. In fact, I read somewhere Galaxy AI might be coming to actually a lot of AI series devices.
Yeah, so I'm not going to give that away too soon, but the information is somewhere out there in the cloud. But the information is there. So, but basically that's our objective. So how do we now bring these AI experiences? They might not be the exact same ones, because again, the AI experiences you're going to have on a flagship device are going to differ significantly from those you have in other tier, because also the computational power across the segments is different. So to get a lot of what we've discussed here, the computational power on the GPUs, on the NPUs is going to be a lot higher. So you're not going to get the same NPUs and GPUs on the mid segment.
Especially AI use a lot of crazy computation power.
But we will still give you some AI experiences in the lower tiers that will still really make your life very exciting. So that's the next step for us with AI. Right now, we are overall globally with agentic AI. We're yet to see how much further it goes. But again, it's getting faster, sharper, smarter. Nowadays, I laugh because I can be here telling you about this, and tomorrow we wake up and there's something like DeepSeek that has just launched at a fraction of the price of every other AI system. It just changes in a heartbeat. Yeah. And you go online today, you find videos of people dancing, and I know my parents cannot tell AI videos from non-AI videos, so that tells you a lot. So the world is really going to change and transform. It will redefine reality entirely.
Well, thank you so much, Ryan. Just as we come to an end, of course, when you talk about AI, there's so much you can talk. As you said, you talk today, catch you wake up, there's something different. But maybe just as we wind up, what is that one thing, or one key message you like, our listeners, and even just people who follow our podcast, to take away from this conversation about AI and Samsung devices?
So the first one would be, go check out the Galaxy S25 at a Samsung Experience store near you. But more importantly is, I will go back to it, and I mentioned what I had mentioned it earlier. Become an AI explorer. Get out there, whatever it is, 5 minutes a day, whatever, 10 minutes an hour. Try and figure it out. Just try and learn, explore. If you see AI news somewhere, don't scroll down to go look at the next TikTok. Listen to it, because a lot of this stuff is already impacting you. A lot of this stuff you're already using and you don't even know you're using. So the best thing you can do right now, no matter whether you are in engineering, technology, whatever field, even medicine, do whatever you can to learn as much as possible, or to be exposed as much as possible to artificial intelligence. The trends, be able to not only learn, but also apply it. Apply it in your daily life wherever you can. Apply it in your work life wherever you can. I did so even just yesterday. We had to create some copy for something we've actually introduced. We've introduced Swahili. S25,
yes,
and we can talk about that later. But we were at a point where we had to sort of come up with marketing copy for social media. And again, we were working with the agency, talking with the agency, and said, okay, I just typed down my prompts, very detailed. So AI, as much as you give it a lot of information, structured, it gives you something good back. So we got the copy, but here's the interesting bit. And I think I used a few platforms. I used Gemini here on the phone. And then I also went outside and I used Claude and I used GPT-4 Mini. And one of those platforms, I gave it a prompt and told it, I need to explain that we have introduced Swahili on the S25. How can we do this? etc. This is what I need. Do you know what it did? It actually gave me the copy in Swahili. I didn't ask it to give me the copy in Swahili. I did not. I asked, I need copy. But this is the context of the copy I need. We have introduced Swahili on the S25, on the menus and the icons. And it actually gave me copy options in Swahili. I didn't ask it. It already saved me time because now for the Tanzania team, I can share with them that. So look at that. How much time did I save that I could have spent an hour or two with the team coming up with that? So you have the capabilities to actually explore, and as you explore, apply everything and anything you're learning. That is the only competitive advantage you'll have in this knowledge and information economy that is just booming right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Ryan. I think one thing I've picked is, we need to become AI explorers. That's quite interesting. And of course, I was reading an article about how AI engineers, people just show AI is actually very, very demanding. It's becoming a very demanding actually career right now. So anyone who's doing anything in AI, there's a market for them.
Oh, there's a terrific market. And from the coders to the engineers to the prompt, there's prompt engineers now. So I think that space is massive. And if you are going to be, I think those IT skills, now is the time to actually jump onto them. I remember last year, this organization called ALX was doing an AI course.
ALX,
that I took it up, but I didn't finish it. That was before I even joined here. And that's where I learned how to make music with the AI. So again, the resources are out there. The capability to learn is out there. The jobs will be changed. Some will be taken, but you can upskill today and become someone who can actually make something out of AI.
Great. Thank you so much, Ryan, for joining us on this podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and of course, we hope to have you more when another series comes, or of course we know the new foldables will be around the corner, of course, and we expect a lot of Galaxy AI features coming up.
And the new A series as well, which you are trying to coax some information out of the
I know they're almost, so of course we're going to just try and, go back to have these conversations just to see, what more Samsung is doing around AI, and of course with Galaxy AI. As I said, the goal of this podcast is basically try and just clarify what AI truly does. Of course, we talk about its limitations and how, of course, Samsung is integrating it to enhance user experience, of course, at the same time maintaining privacy and security. So thank you so much for joining us. And any closing remarks?
No, I think just a big thank you. Thank you for hosting me.
All right,
this first podcast of mine.
First podcast, so interesting, But thank you so much for joining us. And my name is Nick Kanali. I'll see you in the next episode.